If you want to go to Belize but don't know where to start, I'm going to tell you how to get there, where to stay, and most important, the best things to do. You'll hear 5 things I loved about Belize and a couple of things I didn't. So why make the journey all the way to Belize? Number 1, the adventure. Maybe like me, you grew up with an Atari console permanently attached to your TV. Remember Pitfall? Exploring Belize feels a lot like playing that game. Whether it's scaling pyramids, dodging cranky crocodiles, discovering a secret graveyard, or trying jungle medicine, Belize is unforgettable. I stayed on Ambergris Caye. This little island off the coast of Belize is about 25 miles long and 1 mile wide. The only town is San Pedro. From Belize City, you have 2 ways to get there. You can take the ferry or hop on a puddle jumper flight. The ferry can be a rough, damp, and chilly ride. You may need Dramamine. It takes about 45 minutes, but it's a great way to mingle with locals and it's the cheaper option. Just remember to keep your ticket for the ride back. I lost mine and almost got stuck in Belize City for the night with a storm rolling in. Fortunately, they let me on anyway. You can't actually book the flight to the island in advance. You just show up and they'll put you on the next available one, about every hour. The views of the water are fantastic and it's a super quick way to get to San Pedro. If you're the type who travels for adventure, you can't beat the journey there. Number 2, where I stayed. Ambergris Caye is a great destination, but it can also be pricey. Part of the island is more upscale and touristy, not my normal choice. I stayed north where the vibe was more small town. I loved walking around without seeing fast food chains or coffee shops. It was all local and expat businesses. I was right in the town center. Most people use golf carts to get around. The shops and restaurants were painted in different colors. Each one was so unique. I was right there before Christmas, so they had lights and decorations up too. I actually traveled there for the famed end of the Mayan long count on December 21st, 2012. I made sure to be up on a Mayan pyramid that day, just in case. I stayed at the Sunbreeze Suites. I highly recommend them. There was a cute bar on site. They'll bring drinks right to the beach and put it on your tab. They also had a restaurant. And that leads me to number 3, the food. If you've been to Jamaica, you might be familiar with Ire food. It's a Rasta way of saying alright, and stands for feelings of peace and love. When I told them I was a vegetarian, they fixed me up a plate of what they called spicy Ital food. It was fiery. I had many interesting things to eat and drink there. I got to try tamales made with plantain dough, and I had Johnny Cakes for lunch on nearly every excursion. They love their hot sauce. Marie Sharp is famous in Belize. She started a business selling hot sauce and later importing it out of the country. You'll find at least 1 bottle of her classic red on every table in Belize, from the airport lounge to the nearest bar stool. Be sure to try the cashew fruit wine. Well, it's more like a liquor than a wine. I tried the Belizean bitters. It's a concoction brewed from different plants picked in the jungle. It was earthy and bitter, with maybe just a touch of plant medicine. What do I mean? Afterwards I sat on the dock and stared out at the calm water and the clear dark sky, and I swear I saw the old Mayans rowing across the waves breaking out on the reef. They climbed out of their canoes and began walking toward the island. I was in tune with the spirit of the people. I didn't feel so in tune the next morning. When my tour guide found out what I had the night before, he was amazed. Stay away from those bitters, he warned. You better Belize it. A common expression there. Number 4, the excursions. The place I stayed had a separate office for off-site excursions. I signed up for 2 different days, making sure I got to see a few pyramid sites. I visited Altun Ha, which is often translated from Yucatec Mayan as rockstone water. It was there that I spent time on December 21st. My guide showed me areas of uneven land and told me there were pyramids underneath, still waiting to be excavated. The Belizean government just didn't have enough money to do it. 2 days later, I ventured up a river through the jungles of Belize to visit Lamanai, which means submerged crocodile in Maya. I quickly saw why. They were hiding all along the shore. We passed by a colony of Mennonites, something quite unexpected. Their horses watched our gasoline-powered boat like it was an alien spacecraft. All this from the dense depths of a humid jungle. It was quite a contrast. The Temple of the Masks was so intricately carved. And I loved the High Temple. It was as tall as a 10-story building. The climb to the top is so steep that there's actually a rope. The view of the jungle canopy from the top is amazing. I also went cave tubing. My guide gently pulled me through a water-filled cave. I saw Mayan drawings etched on the ceiling. It was dreamy and relaxing. When we got back outside, I suddenly felt ill. My guide told me the journey and my sudden purging represented my trip through Xibalba, the Mayan underworld. I recommend all the excursions you have time for. You'll leave Belize with so many interesting stories. Number 5, the handmade mementos. I love the local artisans. They walked up the beach with their handmade items for sale. I took a few photos of a beautiful Belizean lady with her children. The bag she made that I brought back home with me is perfect as a small carry-on when I fly. So what didn't I like about Belize? It's more touristy down south. It had a rowdy spring break vibe. It felt more like a cruise ship party to me. I did meet a Cotimundi though. She was so fast every picture I took was just a blur. Now, before I get into the last thing I didn't like about Belize, if you really want to know a place with a low-key feel and some amazing tropical vibes, check out my video on Puerto Rico. I love the local beach I found there, but for Belize, I can't really say the same, and here's why. There just wasn't much sand, and there was a lot of seaweed and other debris washing up. There were so many dive shops lining the shore that you almost couldn't get into the water. Belize is well known as a place for diving certifications. The divers throw fish off the dock. Quite a few manta rays swim around waiting for those treats. They don't hurt you, but they're right there in the shallow water if you decide to go out. By the way, if you are interested in diving certification, I recommend going to Honduras for that. It's where I got my open water certification. For me, the best part of Belize was traveling inland to explore the jungle and the pyramids. I can't wait to go back and see even more.